Hey, welcome to our Monday night Team Flex Force team call. It is March 18th, and I'm super excited to hang out with you guys tonight and have an awesome guest speaker, and we have some really fun announcements tonight. I just always feel like there's so many exciting things happening in the business, which just makes me excited for this job, you know? So let's get into it. And here we go. So Flex has changed 87 lives already accounted for in the back office already this month of March. And that's amazing because we still have like half the month left. And I really want us to break that 300 mark, you guys. Like that's my goal. I would love to see that. So I want to give an extra special shout out to Jen Worth, Kathy, and Hillary, who are all at Success Club 10. Hold on, I need to mute everybody again. Okay, I think we're good. Sorry, I'll go back to this. And Cynthia, Krista, Emmy, Gina, Steph, White, Tara, and Elizabeth, who's really Alyssa, who have all hit Success Club already. And you guys, like I said, we have half the month left, so double your Success Club numbers. Like, there's no reason you can't, especially with all of the things we have happening, which I'll get into right now. So I want to see all of you guys who are on this side of the board hop to this side of the board, because Success Club is like bare minimum as a business requirement, because otherwise you're not making a profit in your business. Therefore, you aren't a business builder. Like, you're really a discount coach. So I want to, if you want this business, hitting Success Club is a bare minimum and you'll make a profit that way. Okay, we are at 16 new coaches added this week, which is super low, guys. Super low. So let's all make a pact to step that up. And remember, if your goal is like, I mean, what could you do with an extra $500 a month? You guys can hit $500 a month, like no question, by signing up 2 people a week. Does anybody think 2 is a big number? No. Okay. Danielle is hosting our Power Hour this week. It is tomorrow. I'll have all of the event info in FlexForce spam by tomorrow. It was on the week at a glance, so it should at least be on your radar. Excuse me, that was gross. Next super weekend is April 12th, 13th, and 14th. 14th, the Sunday, if you're in Michigan and you should be going, or you're Morgan and you're traveling, it's going to stay with me because Carl's going to be at our Super Sunday. It's going to be so epic. I'm super excited. So you can check the back office and the FAQs to see where one is happening near you. And as it gets closer, more will pop up. Just keep an eye on it. Summit tickets are going on sale for the last time, as last call. You guys, so if, like, my goal is to have 50 girls from Flex at Summit. How freaking fun will that be to have big team pictures, all hang out together, like so fun. So make sure you grab your tickets. They're starting, I don't know what day that is, 4 days after Wednesday. I just know it. Anyways, so starting next week, right, ish, they will be $165, and then they'll go up to $175, and then they'll go back up to their regular price, which I think is like $195 or something. But if you're a new coach, they're promoted even more, so just grab your ticket, okay? They're like, you have a new coach price, and it's a bomb price. So grab your tickets. I'm missing my BFF's bachelorette party. I'm in that wedding to be at Summit. I've missed weddings. To be at events. Events are job requirements. So just keep that in mind. We have a downline-wide, like, open to your clients, you guys, everybody, a UPF group. We're going to start on April 1st, and this will coincide with the relaunch of 21 Day Fix, which will go into 21 Day Fix Extreme. So freaking pumped about that. I just think it's going to be a game changer, because that program is like pretty much iconic at this point. And I'm not using that word correctly, but it's like legendary. I don't know, whatever. You guys know what I mean. It's a big deal. And I think I won't be able to do this with like you guys sharing like your 1 week 2 week, 3 week, 4, 5, 6, because we'll have 6 weeks of transformations during that time is going to be epic. Okay. This Thursday and Friday, we're doing a first time ever. We're doing a VIP boot camp preview party, and all the details are in the event page for this within FlexForce Fam with the link to the group. So make sure that people that you're adding to the group want to be added to the group. And if you're like, WTF is this? Think like a coach sneak peek, but for the boot camp opportunity. We're just trying to like find what our people want. Like it's the same thing, but it's going to be more fun. Like it's the same thing as having a private conversation with somebody, but they get to experience the community, which for most people is the game changer. So we're all going to be in it together. It's going to be super fun. Maybe we'll do like a live like group workout at some point or something. I just threw that out there on a whim. I don't know, but it's going to be super fun. So it be inviting to that for sure. I have an example of my invite in the event page as well. If you guys have an invite, drop it in there too, so we can all just like crush this together. I think these events are really what, I don't know, they just make everything super fun. Also along that line, it didn't save as I downloaded this, but next Wednesday and Thursday, again, I will make an event for this in the team page. We're going to have a coach sneak peek during the cruise and like showcasing what you guys should be earning next year. You should be on the wait list for Punta Cana. Punta Cana is like the best trip we do. And oh yeah, and because it's so glamour, like it's so fun, people sign up during events. So make sure that's on your radar to be inviting to that next week. And then any diamond in the downline who pops diamond, wait, that's worded weird. Any emerald or ruby in the downline who pops diamond this Thursday or next will be getting, whether you're my PS coach or not, so anybody in the downline will get an extra something from me from the cruise. Like we have killer shops on the cruise, like I don't know all of them. I know there's a Kate Spade. Someone said there might be a Tiffany's. I don't know. I'm not there yet. But you will get something extra from me for going diamond. Those 2 Thursdays are your choices, okay? And you guys, we have so many girls who are so close. Jen Worth is so close. Hillary's so close. Jesse's so close. So shout out to you guys, and just make it, anything can happen in like a week and a half. Like you just have to decide to do it. And I was going to say something else about that. Oh, it can also be if you need to repop, you haven't been diamond this quarter, then that can count as well. Okay. So along those lines, when all of these circles are filled with my PS coaches who are diamond, we're all the diamonds in the downline. Everybody is going to Disney, and we're going to freaking do it up because it's freaking magical there. So be one of those diamonds, whether you're my PS coach or not. Once these are all filled, you will get an invite to Disney for free. Okay, so that's exciting. I'm going to keep this up here so we can all like get excited about it. Does anybody else like Disney? Like, I don't really feel like anybody's excited. You can go somewhere else. Okay, everyone's like, sure. Okay, and then we're getting ready. We have some peeps on standby to go to NLC next year, Steph and Scotty. And hopefully we can get their little selves on the plane here and get some more people on the plane. You have to be 1 star to get advanced to 1 star to get invited to New Leader Conference, okay? Remember, shout out to everybody going to Summit. If you've put your name on the list, like tag me on that post so I can update it. But my goal again is to have 50 people from Flex there. So I think it just be so, I just love Summit. Okay, let's get to it. We have Cassie tonight on our team call, and I love Cassie, and she just doesn't make excuses and just gets her-ish done. And she's going to talk to us about moving past the no. Like, how many of you guys have ever heard no from a prospect before? Raise your hand. You can see you guys. Okay, everyone's like, guys, wake up! We got team call night. So I'm really excited to hear from this new mama. She is a 3-week-old. He's so cute. Her team is currently ranked number 103 in the network, which is amazing. They're ranked higher than us for reference. She is a premier 2019 coach. She just entered 4-star qualifications and 1-star in her second business center, #duplication. And she is a Success Club 10, has hit Success Club 10 plus 23 months in a row. She's almost a Success Club All-Star legend. That is consistency. Not 2 weeks, not even 2 months. She's going on 2 years of consistency. Like, let that sink in. And she's a retired speech therapist, and I love speech therapists. So she had an into my heart from day one. Okay, now I just have to find, do you want to unmute yourself, girl? And then,
hey,
oh, there you are. I see you. Okay.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome. Hi, guys. I totally normally make slides because much like Rachel, I worked in the schools, and I feel like that's just like a teacher thing, but I have a 3-week-old, so I had to prioritize. And so I don't have slides. I'm sorry. But I'm really excited to talk to you guys. And like Rachel said, I am, 27 years old, married, dog mom. I have a 1-month-old now, 1 month as of Saturday. So life has been a shit show. I curse a lot. So if you have little kids around, I do apologize. But I told Rachel we should call this call Don't Be a Little Bitch. And I'm talking to myself when I say that because I am so guilty of being a little bitch at times. And this month, especially with the newborn, has been literally the hardest month in my business, I think, that I've had in 2 years, hands down, for sure. So I totally am preaching to the choir when I talk to you guys about everything I'm about to talk to you guys about, because I've had to have a pep talk to myself every single day this month. So if you're on the struggle bus this month, I totally get it. But before I dive in, I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my story really quick so that you don't think I'm just like sitting here, telling, preaching from like my, I don't know, castle. By the way, I'm at my parents' house and their like internet sucks. So sorry if the picture is kind of blurry. Hopefully it's not. But so a little bit about my story. I have been coaching 3 years. And I retired from being a speech therapist in the schools in August, but my first year of coaching was a total shit show. So unlike Rachel, I did not come into this business crushing it, hitting Success Club every month. I wish that was my story, but that's just not. So I know a lot of coaches who are really successful get on these calls and they're like, I killed it from day one. I had all the confidence in the world. I never missed Success Club. That wasn't me, but because that wasn't me, I think I can kind of talk a little bit more about what I had to do to change to really go from the world's most struggle bus city to actually running a business that has now doubled my income from when I worked in the schools, and like given me this life of freedom and allowed me to retire because I could not leave my job and be a stay-at-home mom until I replaced my full-time income. My husband would not have let that happen. We can't afford for me not to make money doing this. So that was a huge push for me, is the income that coaching can bring and the freedom. But when I started coaching 3 years ago, I did not believe that was possible for me. I thought that was just for other people. So I was the coach who started, and I was very hit or miss. So I would hit Success Club, and then the next month I would totally miss it, or I'd stop at Success Club 4, and then the next month I would hit it. I'd hit it again, but then I'd miss it again. And I always had all these excuses for why I couldn't hit it. But really it boiled down to belief in myself. I really had none, and I just kind of thought that other people were good at this and not me. And part of that was that I had to do a lot of personal development. But part of that was that I played the victim, and I had this mentality that success was just fairy dust. Like I legitimately thought that coaches who were successful just like were sprinkled with fairy dust and everybody else just wasn't lucky. And so when I wouldn't hit Success Club, I would compare myself to every other coach who was hitting Success Club and be like, why are they so successful? Why do people want to work with them and not me? I would play the victim. I would compare myself to them. And instead of looking at all the work they were putting in, I would just say, well, of course she's hitting Success Club. She has so many followers. Of course she's, helping so many new coaches start. She's so pretty. Like my brain would literally come up with all the dumbest shit about why everybody was successful but me, instead of just like looking at the facts, which was I wasn't doing the vital behaviors, like period. So to speed up my story, I did spend my almost entire first year of coaching in that boat. And I finally got to this point where I distinctly remember the day. I remember exactly where it was, where I just had this aha moment where I was like, Cassie, you literally need to shit or get off the pot, because you are pretending to be a business owner. You know, you're posting on social media like you own this badass business. Well, behind the scenes, I don't know if you guys have ever been there. I mean, as a brand new coach, you're always going to be faking it until you make it as a brand new coach. So you're probably always going to feel like a little bit of the imposter syndrome. But I had been coaching 8 months and I still felt like an imposter, because I was like, you're posting like this is, you know, a business and you're doing the damn thing, but really behind the scenes, you barely have a team. Guys, I sat at Emerald with 2 coaches for 8 months. It took me a year to hit Diamond, which is absolutely freaking ridiculous. You have no idea how much I kick myself for that now. Diamond is a choice, and Diamond, literally, knowing what I know now, I would have hit it like, I'd be one of those coaches who hit it in 2 or 3 weeks, because it's a choice. It is not hard. And now when I have coaches sign up, they know their goal is Emerald the first 2 weeks, Diamond in 90 days. And even 90 days, you know, that's a long time as far as I'm concerned. But it took me a year, and that was because of all my limiting beliefs that I had, and I just kept buying into them. So during that year, the one thing I did have going for me, and I can't stress this enough, and I hope you guys hear this, is one, I did personal development like it owed me money. I did not miss doing personal development. I would do 1 hour to 2 hours every single day. So I would wake up, I'd listen to it. I was in the shower, while I was doing dishes, while I was doing my makeup, while I was commuting. Like, it was constantly on, and it still is, because I knew that my mindset was like totally whack. So I did a lot of personal development. Never, ever, ever missed a day. And the second thing I did that first year as a coach that really helped me when I did get my shit together was I've never missed a day of posting on social media. Ever. I've never missed a day of posting except for the day I gave birth. And literally I was writing a post while having contractions, and then I was like in so much pain I couldn't finish the post. Otherwise I would have posted it. So I've never missed a day of posting, and what that did was it built so much trust, so that when I finally was like, okay, Cassie, you're going to go all in, you're going to stop pretending to be coach, and you're going to be a coach, and you're going to be a business owner, people trusted me, because I had never, ever, ever gone away, and I was always doing a program. So I guess that's the third thing that I was doing right during that year, was I was being a product of the product. So I was always doing a program beginning to end, and showing those progress pictures on my social media, on my Instagram and my Facebook. So guys, you can't miss a day of posting. And maybe I'm preaching to the choir, and you guys are amazing. Like, I know my coaches do pretty good, but I know there's other teams or other coaches where they struggle to be consistent. But if you are not posting every single day, it's just common sense. Like, who's somebody going to sign up with? Think about it. Are they going to go pick the coach who shows up for work, you know, when it's convenient, or like 5 days a week, or even 6 days a week, but misses the 7th? Or are they going to show up with the coach who posts at least once a day, every single day, and they know they can count on? Because automatically what they're thinking, guys, when they look at your social media is, if she can't even show up for her business, why on earth would she show up for me? And I don't think coaches always get that, you know, like, you can't miss days and days of posting and expect people to trust you, because they're just going to assume that just like you don't show up for yourself, you're not going to show up for them. And this goes for Instagram stories too. Like, I am religiously posting on Instagram stories. And I know those weren't around 3 years ago when I was a new coach. But now, even with a newborn, even being super busy, I make it an absolute top priority in my day to make my store, like, be present in my business and my store, which means Instagram stories as well. So that was like a total side tangent. But that is the one thing I did really well my first year of coaching, was personal development, and I never ever missed a day on my social media. So after about a year, like I said, I decided to get it together, and I said, Cassie, you're either going to quit or you're going to do the damn thing, but you're not going to do this like in between bullshit, because it's embarrassing. You're better than this, you know, like, you can do better than this. And quitting wasn't an option. And so I don't know if you guys have ever been there, but for me, like, I had to look at my why. I hated my job. I hated working in the schools. I know some of you guys are probably teachers. It was not my jam. I did not enjoy being a speech therapist. I did not want to do that until I was 65. I also started coaching over 6 figures in debt. And so I had to get out of debt. Like, that was a big push for us. And I also wanted to be, you know, home. And now I have a 1-month-old and I'm home because of this business. But at the time, that felt like the biggest dream on the planet. Like, it felt like it would literally be impossible, but I knew I had to at least try. So quitting was not an option. So because quitting wasn't an option, I was like, okay, you're gonna go all in. So I challenge you guys to give yourself that ultimatum of, like, I'm no longer gonna settle. I'm going to go all in, and just embrace that and really go for it, because that's how you're gonna see changes in your business. This business is really hard if you half-ass it. It's really hard. Or if you're like, if you work it when it's convenient, you know, it's so much easier to just go all in. I know it seems like it'd be harder because you're probably putting in more hours, but you start to build up so much momentum that things just happen for you. You recruit easier, you get challengers easier. Like, it's just easier to fucking do the damn thing. So that's like my beginning year in a nutshell. So now I'm going to share with you guys a couple of the things I did after I started to really work my business and hit diamond, which is obviously where your business starts. So get to diamond as quickly as you possibly can. But then there's a few things I did after I hit diamond to really build momentum in my business to where I could replace my income as quickly as possible and leave my job and not miss Success Club. After that month I hit diamond, guys, I've never dropped below SC 20, like ever. This right now I'm at SC 12, which is I've never been at the 18th of the month and not been at SC 20. So I'm like a little stressed. But you're going to have shitty months. You're going to have hard months. That's just the lifestyle of an entrepreneur. It's like a roller coaster. But after I made that decision, it wasn't like I had to work necessarily harder. I just had to get really more focused on the things I was doing. So the first change that I made when I, went all in was I really made hitting Success Club 10 by the 5th day of the month my number one focus. Like, I was like blinders on, and my coaches know this. So they know that if it's, the first week of the month, I'm not going to set up one-on-one calls. I'm not making graphics for my team page. I'm not doing trainings. Don't ask me to do a pop-up training in your team page. Don't message me and ask me stupid questions. I know that sounds really mean and tough love, but they know that, like, first 7 days of the month, you better have your eyes down and you better be freaking working and hauling ass because you need to hit Success Club as quickly as you can. And I know that sounds like really intense, but what that allows you to do, guys, is really spend the rest of your month focusing on other things so that, one, you can enjoy your business and you're not stressing about Success Club. 2, you can build momentum in your business, and momentum is a very, very real thing. And once you build momentum, like, it cascades month to month to month, so you don't want to lose it. And then the third thing it allows you to do is really focus on recruiting. So that's kind of how I set up my months, is like the first week to 2 weeks, I'm solely focused on getting my boot campers in the boot camp. And then the last two and a half weeks, depending on how quickly I hit my Success Club goals, I'm focused on recruiting. So I run a sneak peek pretty much every single week, except for this first week of the month, because again, that's when I'm focused on challengers. And then I can focus on team building and helping my coaches. So they know, like, they literally know like clockwork, oh, Cassie's at SC10, because suddenly they'll see me in the team pages. And if I'm not, then they know I'm not at Success Club, because I am the leader of the team. Speed of the leader, speed of the pack. So if I'm not at Success Club, at least SC10, why on earth would I expect my coaches to be? But the beautiful thing is, guys, once you start to do that, I know it's kind of hard at first to get that. It's hard at first to get in that mindset of, okay, I'm going to hit SC10 by the 5th. Like, it is a little hard at first to get that going. But once you get it, guys, your team will duplicate. And duplication is how this business is built. And that's how your income is built. And that's how success is built. And now my coaches, especially my rockstar coaches, who are my lifers, who I know are going to make this thing like their jam for forever, they're the ones who hit Success Club before me. Like, literally every single one of my diamonds hit Success Club before me this month. Hit SC10 before me this month. They all have bigger numbers than me this month too, and last month. So it's like, it's amazing to watch that duplicate. So that's the first change I made, was because before that, I was very much the coach who waited until last minute. I don't know if you guys are like that. You don't have to raise your hand, but I very much was like, oh, I have a week left. Oh, I have 5 days left. Oh, somebody will pull through. And guess what? It didn't happen. Like, I had months where nobody pulled through, and then I didn't hit Success Club. And then I was all butthurt about it when it was really just like my fault. So don't procrastinate hitting Success Club. That was the first change that I made, and it made a huge difference. The second thing that I did after I hit diamond to help me kind of grow my business was I had to take 100% responsibility for my business. So again, I'm sorry, guys. I talk like such a douchebag. Yeah, I say things like butthurt. I don't know why. Just an idiot. So the next thing I did, whoa, mom brain, what was I even saying? Oh, here we go. Was 100% responsibility. So again, I'm going to get a little bit tough love here. But before, when I was like wildly unsuccessful, I did not take responsibility for my business. I didn't even really know that I was doing that, but I was blaming other people, even subconsciously. And a lot of times, guys, you won't know you're doing this. You won't realize that you're blaming your kids. You won't realize that you're like subconsciously blaming your upline. You won't realize that you're blaming the Instagram algorithm. These are all excuses that you're going to have to learn to catch yourself making. And so I've just made a habit now where if I make an excuse, like, because we all make excuses, I just catch myself the moment I make it and I shut it the fuck down. So I'm like, nope, I'm not going to hear it. I'm not going to repeat that excuse. I'm certainly not going to tell my team that excuse. Because what happens is if you start to make excuses and your team hears that, guess what your team's going to do? They're going to go make excuses. And trust me, I want to make excuses. Like I said, this month's been hard. And I could go on my team page and be like, oh, guys, I'm only at SC12 because I have a newborn and I'm on 2 hours of sleep. And yeah, that's the fucking truth. But my team's only going to duplicate what they see me doing. So they can either see me pushing and showing up even when it's really, really, really hard, or they can see me making excuses and coming up with reasons why I'm having a harder month. And so when my brain starts to tell me those things where it's like, oh, this is why you're struggling, or, you know, take it easy this month, you have a newborn. Like, no, I'm not going to listen to those things. They're all bullshit. They're only going to hold me back. So I had to take 100% responsibility for my business. So there's 2 resources I want to share with you guys. The first one is a book. I think it's by Jack Canfield. It's called The Success Principles. I listened to it on Audible. It is a long book, but it is really, really good, and it changed the game for me. So The Success Principles is an amazing book. And then the second thing is the MF Project. Have you guys ever heard of that? Can anybody raise their hand if they've heard of it? Oh my God, you guys are about to have your freaking world rocked. Okay, podcasts and look up the MF Project. And he is a CEO. He owns all these companies. And if you go back to like the oldest episodes, those ones are the best. But he is just like, I mean, he curses a lot, so don't listen to it in front of your kids probably, but it is amazing, you guys. Like, you're about to have your world rocked. So I listened to that, and I listened to the Success Principles, and that was when I got this idea of 100% responsibility, to where I had to like really take 100% responsibility for not only my business, but my life. Like, if I'm not at Success Club, that's on me. If my coaches aren't making advancing, that's on me. If I'm not getting, you know, coaches, if I'm not recruiting this month, that's on me. And I know that can be a hard pill to swallow, which is why, like, how many people actually take responsibility for their life? I mean, really, how many people? Like, hardly anybody. Because it's hard, and it kind of sucks to admit that you're the reason for all of these things happening. But the way I like to look at it is, if I'm the reason, then I can change it. Like, I'm 100% responsibility, which means I have 100% control over the outcome. And it's all about failing forward. It's not about beating yourself up, you know, like, it's just like, for instance, today I put together this whole free group of a sugar detox free group, and I was like pumped. I posted the call to action. I'm like, oh my God, yes. I'm gonna have so many people want to be in this free group. And it was like, it's been like crickets since I posted it and since I shared it. And I'm like a little bummed, but at the other side, it's like, well, you know what? You got to fail forward. Like, it's okay. Try shit. And if it doesn't work, it's better than sitting around and like not doing anything at all. You know, it was something new I was trying. So if that group doesn't work, yeah, I'll take 100% responsibility, but it's also not the end of the world, guys. These things aren't the end of the world. You have to have like perspective about this stuff. So I took 100% responsibility for where my business was. And when I started to do that, that was, again, the game changed. Like, that made such a difference, because I took control over where my business was, instead of blaming outside sources or getting really negative, you know, the Instagram algorithm, this or that. It's like, you can't control that, so why are you getting upset about it anyway? First of all. Second of all, focus on what you can control. Focus on what you are able to be responsible for. You know, you can improve the content of your Instagram. Do that sort of thing. Let's see. Sorry, I have notes here because I'm really ADD and I want to make sure I cover everything. The next thing that I did to help my business was that I had to focus on things I was really bad at. So I think the way this business tends to work is, first you have to get good at hitting Success Club, which takes a little time to like learn how to consistently hit Success Club. But once you learn how to do that, the next thing you have to do is learn how to recruit. And then once you kind of learn how to recruit and you don't totally suck at it, the next thing you have to do is learn leadership skills. And that's kind of like the hierarchy. And obviously you're going to always kind of be learning a little bit of everything. But when I went from totally sucking at getting challengers and like barely hitting Success Club to hitting SC20 or higher every month, the thing I had to learn was sales. I had to learn sales. I was absolutely horrific at it. And I would word vomit on everybody. I would scare everybody away. I mean, I could not get a challenger to save my life. And I identified that. So what I urge you guys to do, maybe on a piece of paper after this call, just like think about what is your number one weakness right now. And instead of letting that be the thing that suffocates you or fills you with fear or causes you anxiety, just face it head on and be like, you know what, this is my biggest weakness. I'm going to get really fucking good at this. And that's kind of what I did when it came to getting challengers, because like legit guys, I couldn't get one to save my life. So I had to get really good at sales. I had to change my mindset around sales and learn how good sales are. Like sales are, and there's whole trainings on how like selling and why it's amazing and why we should all be, we're all selling ourselves all the time, right? So I'm not going to go into that, but the point is you have to focus on your weaknesses. So once I got good at sales, I then moved on to, okay, now I'm going to really master recruiting. I'm going to figure out how to get good at this. So that's what I urge you guys to do is don't let those things that you feel like you're bad at become those things you're bad at forever, because you have a choice. Again, you're 100% responsible for your business. So if there's something in your business that you feel like is your biggest struggle, just face it head on and focus on it, because there are YouTube trainings for everything. Which brings me to my next resource. So the training that I want to share with you guys that literally changed my business when it came to sales, to where I was barely hitting success clips to hitting SC20 or higher every month, was a YouTube video called Closing with Class. It's by Andrea Clowder. Amazing YouTube training. I won't go into like I could give you the whole training now, but you could just go watch it. So I'm not going to, but it's really, really good. And it really, really helped me with growing my business and figuring out like why all these challengers were running from me. Also, I want to say you guys have a badass upline. I'm in her team page. I like steal her shit constantly and post it in my page. And her challenger, like she has like a Word document for how she goes through and invites her challengers. I'm sure you guys have seen that. And like what she says to them. And I've been using that too. And my team has been using it. And that's amazing. So just use the resources Rachel gives you. If you are struggling with sales, because like she's clearly good at it and those things work, because I've been using it too. But that Closing with Class one is extremely, extremely good. So I'm going to go back to my notes so I don't forget anything. And then the last thing I wanted to talk about was, like Rachel said, the last thing that I had to change was my mindset around getting no's, which is obviously something we all struggle with. But like guys, no is just a not right now, right? And most of my clients, I would say 75% of my clients and coaches are from follow-ups. So if I never heard no, I'd have nobody to follow up with, first of all. But if I never followed up with people, I wouldn't have a team. I mean, that's most of my people. I don't know if you guys have most of your people coming from follow-up. Raise your hand if like 75% of your people come from follow-ups. Or like, I hope, yeah, right? I hope you're doing follow-ups. And I want to share a story with you that is going to help reiterate the importance of follow-up. So before I got started with coaching, I'm a coach under Jamie Ennis, and I love her. She's the best upline in the world. But before I signed up with Jamie, I had another coach, I'm not going to name names, reach out to me and ask me to be a coach on her team. And this was like, oh my God, this would have been 4 years ago, because it took me almost a year to actually become a coach. So there's another little tidbit for you. Don't give up on people. But it took me like a year to sign up as a coach. But she asked me to become a coach. She was a very successful coach, 6-figure earner. I could tell she was very successful. She did all the things a successful coach does. She had an amazing Instagram. I genuinely loved following her. She asked me to be a coach on her team, and I just said no, like flat out no. I said, no, I'm not interested. But guys, she planted the seed, and I thought about it at least twice a week, every single week for like a year. I thought about it and thought about it. But you know why I never signed up with her is she never, ever followed up with me. And that really hurt my feelings, because I know that sometimes when we invite to coaching, we're like, oh my God, they're going to think I'm so stupid. They're going to think I'm so annoying, or we make it all about us. But I'll tell you right now, when that chick invited me to be a coach, I was over the moon flattered. I even remember telling my husband when he came home that night, oh my God, you'll never believe this. Some girl messaged me on Instagram and thinks I would be a health coach, like me. Like literally thinks I would be good at this. And he just kind of looked at me like I had like 50 heads. But it was the most flattering thing it was so flattering. I can't even explain it to you how good it made me feel. And even though I said no, the only reason I said no was because I had to watch her. Like that was it. I was intrigued from the moment she asked me, but I was like, you know what? I really don't know anything about this. I'm just going to like watch her and see what happens. So I watched her. And so when you go to invite people, guys, a lot of the people will be flattered that you asked them to be a coach. But I didn't end up ever signing up with her because she never once followed up with me. And that made me feel like she didn't actually care about me. Like I thought she cared about me. I thought she really thought I'd be a really good coach. But then when she never, ever, ever commented or liked or ever reached back out in any way, shape, or form, I realized that I was just a random invite and I like did not matter to her. And maybe I'm like overly sensitive, but that just like really hurt my feelings. I was like, damn. So now I'm really careful to follow up with people, because you can look at following up as like, oh, I'm going to be annoying. You know, she doesn't want to hear from me again. I don't look at it that way. I look at it as, if I don't follow up, she's going to think that I was just in it for a sale, and I wasn't just in it for a sale. Like if I don't follow up, she's going to think that I don't care about her, and I genuinely want her to know that I want to help her. So I do follow up. I'll follow up 3, 4, 5 times. I'll follow up as many times as it takes. And sometimes I'm really funny and blunt about it. Like I had this girl ghost on me, like literally, guys, I sent her the card, and every single time she's like, this is the time, I'm going to do it. And she ghosts. So every month I'll follow up, hey girl, like I know that you ghosted last month again. LOL, I hope you don't do it again this month. Like, do you want to get started now? If not, no worries, but just know I'm here when you're ready. And one day she's going to sign up, and one day she's going to be like, girl, I'm really glad you didn't give up on me, because I was being a scaredy cat. So that was, again, a total side tangent about following up. But that is where most of my points come from, most of my coaches especially. So when you think about, you know, being consistent with those things, you have to be consistent with your follow-ups. And that's why a no isn't a bad thing. Don't take it personally. Don't let it hurt your feelings, and just keep pushing through those, because that gives you another person to follow up with. So every time you get a no, boom, like add them to your follow-up list. I hope you're tracking people. And then you have another person to follow up with. It's a mindset thing. Also, when I'm doing my invites, because obviously if you sit down, you do 50 invites and you get 50 no's, like that can mess with you mentally. So I just pump myself up with listening to my personal development first thing in the morning. And then I'm listening to my ghetto jams, like while I'm sending my invites. And then I'm like drinking my Energize or my coffee. I get in like a really good mental space, so that when I do get those no's, they don't bring me down so much. But you best believe if you get 50 no's one day, girl, you got to wake up tomorrow and you got to do it again. Because what's more important than another person's opinion? It's probably your life, you know? And that's what I always try to tell my girls is other people's opinions aren't going to pay my bills. Other people's opinions aren't going to like have to wake up in this body and either feel confident or not feel confident. Other people's opinions are not, you know, going to be me waking up, going to a job I fucking hated every single day. Like, I'm the one who has to do that, not them. So I'm going to worry about me. Like, I'm not going to worry about another person's opinion. And like Rachel Hall says, other people's opinions are none of my business. So that's kind of how I push past the no's and the not right nows. And some of my best coaches are people who told me no for months and months and months and months and months, or like ghosted randomly and then randomly come back 3 or 4 months later and sign up. So yeah, I love my ghetto jams. I listen to really, really ghetto music. Where does your team come from? Oh, sorry. I got distracted with the chat. But I guess I can answer questions. I feel like I flew through that really fast, Rachel. I'm sorry. I talk fast.
Oh my God, don't apologize. No, that was so good. I have so many notes. And questions are like everybody's favorite part. So if you're down to do questions.
Yes, ask them away, because I feel like I went really fast, but I think I covered everything.
That was so good. If you want to read the questions, go ahead, or you want me to field them, I can do that too.
I can read them.
Okay.
I don't think there were any up higher, so just.
No.
Okay, where does your team come from? Challengers or straight out of the gate? Mine is literally 100% 50-50. I don't know why that is. Lately, it's been more and more challengers, but unlike most coaches, when I got started in coaching, I was terrified to invite to challenge groups, but inviting and coaching has always been extremely easy for me, and that is still the case. Like if I sit down and do my challenge group invites, like I just sent like 17 really quick right before this call, I still get a pit in my stomach. I'm still nervous, guys. I've been doing this 3 years, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so nervous sending these. Like, this is so uncomfortable. But when I send coaching invites, I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm about to change somebody's life. Like, I have no problem inviting to coaching. I have no idea why. But I do get about 50-50. But my entire, like, I would say that started this year, because last year, almost all of my coaches came from sneak peeks. Like, I could not get a challenger to become a coach to save my effing life. I don't know why that is, because I don't feel like a lot has changed in my challenge groups, but now I am getting a lot more challengers who become coaches. And my best tip for that is, one thing I did change that I do a lot in my challenge groups now is, one, I have an ongoing group. And so it's like, I know this doesn't work for everybody, but it works for me. I have an ongoing boot camp, and I just add girls in throughout the month. But it's like a community. Like, these girls are best friends. They share everything. They're always in there together. And so because it's working, I don't change it. Like, don't change what's working. Just go with it. So I haven't changed it. And the other thing I do in my boot camps is I focus very heavily on personal development. And I think that is why I'm getting more coaches for my boot camps. So at the beginning of every month, I give them a book list of some of the 5 or 6 favorite PD books that I recommend for them. They all end up ordering at least one, and then they just randomly post about it in the group, or they're reading it on their own, and they'll randomly message me like, oh my God, I just finished up, like, You Are a Badass, it changed my life, I'm reading this now. Like, they'll just randomly share with me, and obviously it's not a requirement, but I always share the PD I'm doing, and then they just naturally talk about it. So I think that's a big part of it. It's like you get them to do things that coaches do, and then they'll want to become a coach. And one of the most important things that they can do is personal development, because that's what holds people back from becoming a coach in the first place most of the time anyway. So let's see. Oh, sorry, I lost them. Okay. Are your prospects and coaches from Instagram or Facebook too? That's a good question. I would say probably I get maybe, this is going to sound ridiculous, I get one challenger a month from Facebook. Like, that's it. So pretty much all Instagram. Although I will have people who join a sneak peek, and because they friend requested me on Facebook, they start to see my Facebook content more. So like they're seeing me in both spaces, but most of my people originally come from Instagram and go to Facebook. I do have a Facebook business page, because those were a thing when I started coaching. They're kind of stupid now, but yeah, I get like one challenger a month from Facebook. So mostly Instagram. However, I will say, guys, my first year when I was, most of my challengers, like my year that I was like sucking, that did come from my Facebook warm market. So don't ever ignore, especially if you're a new coach, like get on your Facebook and in your warm market, in your personal page, those are going to be the people that sign up with you. And we always tend to ignore them. And I don't know why, because that's where most of my people came from. What does your typical coach invite look like? Do you only invite people who follow you? I do only invite people who are following me, but my coach invites are really, really super simple, and they're probably not very sexy. You guys are not going to think this is entertaining, but I'm literally just like, hey, Emily, happy Friday. Like super random, but have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? Like so simple. That's literally all I ask them. Now, if they're watching my Instagram stories, I will send them something a little different. Like let's say I post a call to action about coaching on my Instagram stories. I will message like everybody who's seen that Instagram story who isn't already a coach. And I'll just be like, hey, insert their name. I always put their name. That's just personally what I do. Hey, Emily, it's, thanks for watching my stories over here. It's so crazy that people actually care what's going on in my life. LOL, like emojis. I have no idea if you'd be interested in this, but have you ever thought about doing what I do as a coach? It's blessed me in so many ways, and I'd love to share more with you. If not, no worries. So I do message a lot of people for my Instagram stories, and I'll invite to my boot camp for my stories as well. I invite anybody who likes to call to action. And then, guys, if I run out of people, I'll literally type in the letter A on my followers, and boom, I'll either reach out to them and start conversations, because I do reach outs, or I'll invite them. Because sometimes it's just like, I don't know where to find my people today. If you have an ongoing group, do you also run a different group monthly and then add those people in the ongoing group after that month the group is done? Nope, I just have my one ongoing group, which I know it just works for me. I don't know why. So what I do is each month I kind of revamp it. So I'll put a new cover photo. We have a new theme. We do different like challenges in the group. Like this month, I have a points for prizes. So they get points for like posting in the group and logging their Shakeology in the group, that kind of thing. And then I tag the newcomers in a post that has them introduce themselves. And then I also try to at least once a month make a little post that says like alumni tips, because it's a community and my girls have been with me, some of them for months and months and months and months and months. I'll have them kind of act, again, I think that's why I'm getting coaches, is because I'll have them kind of coach my new people for me. So I'll make a post that says, hey alumni, share with our new girls like some of your best tips for how to crush it in this group. And I'll have like 10 or 15 girls comment and be like, these are all the things I've learned, this is what you should do. And then they're kind of coaching my new people, welcoming them in, and also sharing their best tips. So I just have like that one ongoing group, and I only revamp it like every 6 months, because eventually it does get to the point where I have 150 people in the group and only like 50 are actually checking in, because you will lose people. It's just the nature of the beast. And so eventually, like once every 6 months, I will kind of like revamp it and let the girls know, okay, hey, like go join this new group. But that's it. It makes my life a hell of a lot easier, because I hate starting up boot camps month to month, and then you lose people. I don't know. Like it works for some people. You just have to find what works for you guys, because there's 1,000 ways to run a good challenge group. How are you growing IG organically? So I actually use a follow unfollow method. I have a training video, and Rachel, I can just send it to you if you want, and you can share it in the team page. Okay. Because I use a follow unfollow method. I actually worked with somebody. I am huge on investing in your business. I've spent thousands of dollars investing in my business. I would say on an average month, I spend $200 to $300 investing back into my business. So that's either advertising or working with a coach. Like this month I paid to work with Josh Coates. I'm literally obsessed with him. So I'm in one of his push groups. So if you're not investing back in your business, I highly suggest doing that, guys. Even when I wasn't making shit, I was investing in my business because I knew that scared money don't make money. And if I want this to be a business, I have to be willing to put at least some of my money back into it. Again, side tangent, but I did work with somebody, and the person I worked with, she grew my Instagram for me using the follow unfollow method. And then I just kind of studied what she did. And I was like, shit, I can do that. I'm not going to pay her $100 a month. Like, I'll just go do it. So the video that I'll share with Rachel that she can share with you guys is exactly what she did, so that you can see exactly how to grow it. And that's really all I've done. And that I started doing that like 6 months ago, because before that it was completely organic. But I don't run Instagram ads. I am doing a Josh Coates training next week on how to do Instagram ads, and I'm really pumped for it. But I don't right now, and I've tried like once and they totally suck. So if anybody's good at Instagram ads, I'd love to know how you make them work for you, because they don't work for me, but it's all organic. You guys have good questions. Any others?
You guys have any other questions? Cass, this is so good. I'm obsessed with, I think a lot of us, I know I do run ongoing groups because it's easier to invite to something that is always ongoing. Just makes sense for me. So I'm obsessed with your PD, and like, these are just simple things, you know, like that just, it's like turning that dial like just a little bit, and it makes a big difference. And the alumni tips, like, yes, like I'm all about that. It's like, how can we work smarter, not harder? And I think that's so powerful, because the new people then like to hear, like, I think our clients tend to like idolize us and think that we're unreachable, whereas the girls who are in it and the alumni and stuff are like a little bit more almost relatable to the, like, they're in between. So I think that's so powerful, so powerful.
Yeah, and then it makes them feel really good because they're helping people, and then they'll more likely to become coaches. And I just tag any of my new people I add in that alumni post. And I'm like, hey girl, read this really quick. And then they read it, and it seems to be working good.
How often do you do that alumni post?
Just once a month.
Okay, cool.
Usually. And then because I just go back and tag them, you can also pin it to the top. Another thing I had them do this month was I had them do like a mission statement, where it was like, as soon as they were in the group, it was like a post that said, like, to write out their mission statement, like, what program are you committing to? Why are you committing to this? And they loved that. They're like, oh my God, I just wrote this out. I put it on my fridge. And so it's just like a simple thing that they can do to like feel welcomed into the group, and then really have like a clear vision for why they're doing this that they can look at every day. So that's another thing I did.
Love that.
Welcome. I hope that helped, guys.
I have one more question. So when you sent, I love your simple invite for coaching. I think simple is always the best. Then if they're like, whatever they say back, whatever, is your next step to keep it one-on-one combo, or do you put them in a sneak peek that you're running?
I love that question, because I'm very passionate about not sharing everything in a one-on-one combo. Because when you do, at least for me, when you do that, guys, as soon as you ask somebody about coaching, the first thing they're going to think is they have to do what you do. And if what you do becomes complicated or convoluted, they're going to be like, oh shit, I'm not doing that. Like, I don't have time for that. So if I sit there and I try to explain coaching via message one-on-one for freaking 4 days, they're going to think that that's what they have to do. In addition to that, my time is very valuable, and they need to know that from right off the get-go. Like, sorry, but I have other things to do than sit here and explain coaching to you. And that's called posture. Who did I learn posture from? I can't remember. But I could go on and on about posture. That's like my shit, because I do not think that we should have to take shit from anybody. And we are business owners, and people want what we have. So when you go into it with that posture of like, I have what you want, then I know that sounds kind of cocky, but like when you have that kind of attitude, it kind of helps people see like, oh, if I want the info, I better get in this group. And guys, you'll have people who don't go in the group. Don't chase them. Don't be like, oh girl, I saw you didn't request to join. Like, are you sure you want in? Or, oh, no worries. I saw you didn't join the group. I'll just explain it to you via DMs. Like, no, this is my business. I'm not going to sit here for 50 years and explain it to you. If somebody doesn't have Facebook, I send them a webinar that I'm not even in, by the way. It's like other people have signed up coaches with it. I'll send them a webinar and be like, awesome, watch this. When's a good time for me to reach back out and see what you thought? So I will not explain it in DMs after, like, so if I say, have you ever thought about doing what I do? And they're like, oh yeah, I've thought about it, but I just don't really know where to start. Every single time I just follow up with, awesome, I'm actually running a coaching sneak peek or coaching info group this weekend in a private Facebook group. I'd love to share more with you about what I do as a coach and how I was able to coach full time. No strings attached, just a chance to learn more. Would you like to join? I always say the no strings attached, right? Because I don't want them to think like, oh, I'm going to get in the group and get like wrangled into this. So I just say no strings attached, like if you'd like to join, and then they'll say yes or no. And then I have them send me a friend request on Facebook and I add them into the group. So yeah, I definitely don't sit there and explain. Now, if you guys are explaining in Instagram messages like about coaching and it works for you, then keep doing that. Like whatever works for you, there's 1,000 ways to work this business, but that just like to me irks me because it's hard to summarize coaching in a message. I just feel like they need to hear our voices and see us and get our personality. So
that's so good. And then you show people, I love what you said, like then, because I forget this, like then they're going to think they have to do that. And one-on-one combos can be really scary for some people, but being able to plug people in a group is very simple. And that's how most of us get most of our people because of the community. It's just so duplicable. And then you're giving people your time that deserve it. And then you're not wasting your energy and feeling like you're pouring into people that don't even have their damn cups out. So I just like, I'm obsessed with that last, I'm obsessed with a bunch of shit you said, but especially that last little bit.
Yeah, you always have to keep things simple and duplicatable. Like if it's not duplicatable, then I feel like you shouldn't be doing it because this whole thing's built on duplication. So yeah, I always think about what would I want to do if I were on the other side of this. Would I want to sit here and explain coaching to somebody? Like, no. I remember when I was in Jamie's sneak peek, she had this back in the day, 3 years ago, 5 YouTube videos because there wasn't Facebook Live, and each video is 10 minutes. And I remember thinking on day 3, shit, I'll sign up. I can do this. All I have to do is record a YouTube video, like done. Like that's what I thought. That's exactly what I thought was I can do that. Like it's a YouTube video. Like how freaking hard can it be? And that's literally what sold me on coaching was I was like, that can't be that fucking hard. So that's just what I think about. Like, especially if you're doing a sneak peek and you're running it with other people and you pop in with 1 or 2 videos, if somebody can't look at that and be like, oh, I can do that too, they probably wouldn't be a good coach anyway, because that's like no effort. It's not that hard to pop in a group and do a video, you know? So.
My God, Cass, so good. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. Now go snuggle your babes. We really appreciate you spending an hour with us, and so many takeaways. So much love, girl.
I'm happy to be on. You guys are badasses. I love being friends with you so I can like steal all your shit.
I know, it's so much give and take. Isn't that the coolest part about this business, you guys? Like that we can all benefit and learn from other people, and it's not like in a nasty like competitive way. It's like in a fun competitive way. Like let's share and all. There's so much room for success that like the table is unlimited. There's a spot for you, you know. It's so cool. So
you can sit with us.
Yeah, you can. Thanks, girl. Have a great night, guys. Go out and crush it.